Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
Welcome back to Jeff Dye's Friendship. This episode's great because this is one of my oldest and dearest friends from Los Angeles. I think he was one of the first guys I became friends with in LA. If it wasn't the first, it was at least top 5. My boy Dave Osterberg joins us in the Pod Shack, or as we call him, Dave O. He's a sweet guy, very talented guy, and a very cool guy, and very single, ladies. But you'll love this episode. This is very fun. We're just chopping it up, shooting the shizzle, as we like to say. Tone's in the house, Aaron's in the house. It's a very, very fun week. I just got back from Just for Laughs, Montreal, which is the biggest comedy festival in the world. And let's just say I had a great time, but I am happy to be back. It was grueling. What else is going on? Yeah, it's going to be a fun week. I got some shows in Plano, Texas, Hyenas Comedy Club this weekend, so come check me out there. Also, if you aren't already subscribed to the Patreon, you are missing out because you can watch this podcast, exclusive videos, exclusive content, occasional gifts. I've been slacking on that. Sorry, Patreon members. But yeah, we're amping back up. We're going to get some stuff real soon. If you are a Patreon member, thank you for subscribing. You make all this possible. We love you guys. You're the only reason I started this podcast, is so that I would have something to put on a Patreon. We're having fun making it. Big shout out to Revolver Podcast Network, DX Racer for the chairs, for the video game channel. I'm going to give you a shout out here. Also, Joe McKenzie. Thanks for that little jingle jangle at the beginning. Makes me happy every time. And a lot of people are commenting and telling me that jingle gets stuck in their head, which makes me laugh a lot. Yeah, enjoy the episode. And we're in, just like that. Welcome to the pod, boys. I'm happy to be back home. And I'm happy to, I love the road. I want to be clear about that. I love the road. I appreciate the road. Grass is always greener. But when I get to come home, that makes me very, very, very happy. Tone, with us as always, Tony Reavis, producer,
what up?
Friend,
Yes.
Former baseball player, former hip hop artist,
sexual bear,
brother,
No.
yes,
potential sexual bear, like maybe someday.
yeah. I mean, you'd be drafted high, dude. If there was a bear draft,
Oh, for real though.
first rounder.
What if they did do a bear draft like that?
Oh, I would be terrified.
You're like, but I don't want to be gay. And like, dude, I'm sorry, dude. You've been drafted.
You got so much potential. Why would you even go to the other
I'd
side?
go to Canada,
No, but I
dog.
like ladies. It's like that's just listen, do this for your country.
You're the number 1 overall, bro.
I would dodge that draft so hard.
Well, that is very homophobic.
I'd be like the Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
of
that's not very
doing that
2018
draft.
of you, man.
Yeah,
Hey.
what? Let's talk about your country.
It's all right. Muhammad Ali did it. I could do it.
He didn't draft dodge.
Well, he didn't go to war,
Oh,
so I wouldn't go to this
Pretty
war.
sure it's a draft dodger.
can't be doing that on Muhammad Ali. We love him.
So you'd be the Muhammad Ali of gays?
in a weird way. That's kind of what you just
I'd be
said.
the Muhammad Ali of dodging drafts.
Well, I don't know.
That's what I said.
I heard something else.
That's what you
Also,
said.
Muhammad Ali is the Muhammad Ali of dodging drafts.
yeah, it's true. He's that
You
one.
said you
Now
were
you're
the
the
Muhammad
Muhammad
Ali of
Ali of
gays.
gays.
I definitely didn't say that. And,
Wow, what
you
a
all said that.
what a
so
start. We love you though, man. Good to have you here.
you could all go
How's your week?
suck my ass. How about that?
Oh yeah, you know we went to a baseball game yesterday, and Tony's commitment to the term "suck my ass." I mean, it's grown incredible.
Yeah, it's a great
You've
insult.
said it 1,000 times,
It's a great insult.
and I want to hear the
It's so
origin of
specific.
how you got that. But first, Aaron Marsh, welcome to the pod, baby.
Hey, what's up, guys? Suck my ass. It's me, giant cubby bear, Aaron Marsh.
That's right. If there was a Cub draft,
Number
Oh,
one draft
man,
pick.
I am up there.
100%. If you don't know what we're talking about, the gay community has different terms for different body types and styles of their community. Aaron has been hit on, what would you say, 1 billion times?
That's what my Snapchat pretty much became.
Yeah.
It's just like the gay guys found me, and
Yeah,
there it
dudes
was.
were like, he's the exact dimensions of a Care Bear. How do we have sex with him?
yeah,
But yeah, he's
I was
aware of it.
fuck a lot. I think is the name of my Care Bear.
Yeah. It is sad God didn't make you, God made you straight, you know, because you'd be killing it, bro.
Oh, dude, I would have the gayest boyfriend if I had one. You know.
You could have as many boyfriends as you wanted if you.
Oh, I'd have a whole harem.
Yeah.
They'll all be muscular and carry me around.
You could
look
have
like Tony.
sister boyfriends.
Oh, sister boyfriends. Make them fuck each other in
How's your
front
week,
of me.
dude?
Oh, I started swearing. I'm sorry. It was a good week. I saw 2 Mariners games, which is a lot for a non-Mariner fan.
I know. Yeah, it was
there we
fun. We had a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
it's a field trip podcast.
Because we went on Friday as well.
Podcast field trip is what I meant.
Yeah, we went before you came back to town.
Yeah, you guys broke bread,
Yeah,
went to the game. Oh, Saturday night you went. I
Friday,
think.
yeah,
Oh,
Friday.
Friday?
Yeah, and I did stand-up every night this week, so I feel good about that.
You don't take the
Nice.
train down?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
And the voice you're hearing is our very special guest, one of my best friends in the entire world, one of my first friends in Los Angeles, California, a very talented t-shirt designer, very talented camera operator. This guy knows more about movies and video games and all the kind of things I love, action figures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he knows more about all those. He's my go-to guy for that. When I used to watch trailers, which I don't anymore, Davo used to be my guy. Like, I would be like, hey, what's new coming out? He's one of my go-to guys for movie recommendations.
Horror movies?
Also, just there's not many good men, I think, left in the world. And Davo's one of the sweetest, best guys I know. And one of my dearest friends. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Osterberg.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for that intro.
I can't believe it's been this long.
Yes.
Episode 18 for him to join
For
us.
real, though, one of my closest buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is...
We've kicked him out to do some episodes.
Well, which we will talk about later in the episode, but Davo's calendar is crazy. He'll be
On the
home for
road.
like 2.5, 3 weeks, maybe. That's being generous. And then he'll just be gone for like 3 months.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true, yeah.
It's tough.
A lot
That's
of
why when you hurt
travels.
your back, I was like, so you're not going to be able to go to work now for a little bit there,
Yeah,
Davo?
we get to hang out with him when he's home.
I feel like the entertainment industry is one of the industries that won't let you miss work if you're sick or hurt. You're like,
Yeah,
oh,
they're like,
your,
we don't
your
care.
back hurts. Oh,
It's like
do
men's
you want
softball.
to stay on the show? Then
It's like men's softball. You roll your ankle, they're just putting you in the outfield. You're not out of the game. You still have to
You still
play.
play.
You still play. Wait, so tell the people what you do for work that would keep you out of Los Angeles for months and months.
Well, I work on various reality TV shows. One of the main ones is the Bachelor, Bachelorette
Yes.
franchise, which takes me all over the globe. That
Which must be the easiest conversations to have on dates, right? Like when a girl goes out, like you getting, because every girl watches those shows. If
yeah.
you like them, that's great. I'm not judging. Personally, I think it's trash and I hate it. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't like date a girl or be with a girl who likes that show. Just me, if you want me to watch it with you, like as a lady, I'm going to make fun of it relentlessly.
If I was you, I'd just bring one rose on the date and keep it on the table and then like move it closer to her when she's doing good, move it further away.
do you accept it?
I don't think that would work at all.
I think it would.
Well, but girls love that show. So
Yeah.
when you're on dates, they must be like, oh, so you work on The Bachelor? And then they ask you questions.
Yeah, whether it's a date or just you meet some random girls at the bar.
Girls
they,
I hang out with will
you
ask
tell them,
you
like,
that.
what do you
Like,
do?
I'll
And they're like, oh, you work on that? I was like, well, this is what I do. I do work on those shows. And yeah, and then it's the next question is like, how's X?
Yeah.
How was this person on the
oh,
show?
you
Where-
know
where did-
Brody?
yeah.
And you're like,
Did you go? Did you?
I was here to
were
talk
you-
about me.
were you
Yeah.
there?
All right, we'll talk about The
exactly.
Bachelor.
But I mean, it'd be like anything. Like if I met someone who worked on a show I love, I couldn't help but gush,
Yeah.
True.
I get that because that's the next line after they ask me 20 questions. Does this bother you? I was like, no, it comes with
Yeah.
the job. That's
And
what-
also kind of fun to be asked a bunch of, I think it would make you more interesting that like that's fun for them.
yeah.
Yeah,
I would agree.
I like when people
Maybe.
ask me about comedy. I had a girl ask me about stand-up a bunch of questions, and then she's like, "Oh, you must hate when people do this." I was like, "No, it makes me feel special. Like I never shut the fuck up about comedy, anyways.
Right.
So it's kind of nice to be."
Right. No.
Yeah, it's true.
Well,
we
no,
talk
but-
about, like I could talk about wrestling, baseball, stand-up comedy. There's certain subjects that I'm never gonna be tired of talking about.
I think
But that's
the
like
job.
that's like stuff that you love
Yeah,
as opposed to work.
That
Which
is
I just,
true.
that can be a difference
comedy's my
there.
work though. So
Yeah.
and also like if I just had a bunch of information about a subject, it would help me feel special if they wanted to know about it.
That's true.
What do you
Definitely
really
true.
love though? What is if you had to name?
Wait,
if you had
before
to,
you go there, who won the last season of The Bachelor?
you give us a
I can't
spoiler.
say it. No,
Yeah.
Dude, I'll let you
No
at third
spoilers.
base, bro.
No, this
What was
won't. This won't go on for months, so you can say it.
Wait,
It's
what's
safe
wrong
to
with
say
your-
it.
What?
What's
What's wrong with
that?
your eye?
Oh yeah, the air conditioner
Oh.
kicked on and made my eyes weird. So, anyways, this isn't going on for a little while. You can tell us the winner. It's safe company.
And the winner was.
Oh my
What's
god!
happening?
I didn't see that coming.
Wow, dude.
The slow lead-in.
It's cool to know. It's cool to
It
know.
is.
It's cool to know before everyone else. Anyways,
gonna
if
use
you
that.
want us to know,
I'm gonna use that as a pickup
I just
line.
believe in
beep
love
that.
now.
So it
Yeah,
sounds like you
love
just told
is-
us.
love is
but
real.
If you want to know who it is before the show goes on, just DM me. Just DM me, and I'll tell you the name.
Oh yeah, we'll give you a link to the Patreon.
Yeah. Patreon. Patreon.
That's my new pickup line. There, it's like, hey, you want to know who wins the Bachelor this season?
Oh my gosh, that would work. It would work. Cool, man. But what do you love? If you had to say like your top 5 favorite
What do you
things,
love?
what's your most love?
For me, it's just my main love probably right now in LA is just being around friends. Really, I would
Yeah.
say.
Oh,
There isn't a. I mean,
Could have
there's
just said my name, bro.
yeah.
Right here.
Aaron.
Aaron.
Thanks,
I love Aaron.
guys. There we go.
I love my little cub.
Aw.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing that, at least today, that brings me the most joy is just being around friends. And then come with that comes talking about horror movies, sports, and all that.
Yeah.
But the main, I'm on the road so much, which maybe as you know, it can get pretty lonely.
Oh my god.
Even
Yeah.
so it's always great to be back with your friends, just catching up, and then just bullshitting about all the stuff that you all enjoy together: video games, movies, comics.
I was
say.
texting with someone in New York, and they were telling me they're saying well, what do you like? And so I started naming all the things I like. I was just like, oh, Netflix, baseball games, and
Raindrops
horror
on
movies.
roses.
Well, I just started
Yes.
naming all these things, right? And then she was
Those are
like,
all
oh,
things you
those
like,
all
though.
seem pretty basic. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, but nothing's basic if your company's great. Like if you're in good company, it doesn't matter. Like you can just go get coffee if you're like with someone you enjoy
I-
spending the time with.
That's what
Or
I
like
agree.
a walk is pretty great if you're happy with the person you're walking with. So I was like, maybe you need to step up your company, that you're calling these really great things basic.
That's that's probably essentially what I was trying to say. Yeah, it's all the company. We could be doing absolutely nothing, or we could be going having a great time at Disney. It
Yeah.
doesn't it's just who you're with that makes the time for me.
Wait. Question for the two of you because Davo was the cameraman on Better Late.
Mm-hmm.
So was there a
Yeah.
time that you're on Better Late and you're like, thank God I brought Davo, good old pal friend.
Oh, every single day, because on Better Late Than Never, I'm having fun when we tape.
You got to
Yeah.
go all the way back though. You should just. I mean, you brought me on the show.
Yeah, I was
literally.
very aggressive about making sure Dave was one of the operators on that show because I wanted to have my friend there. Also, I met Dave as a camera operator, so I was like, he's fully capable. They're letting all the other guys that are on the show, Henry Winkler and George William and Bill, William and Bill, George, William, Henry, and Terry all bring their wives.
Yeah.
It's not fair that I don't get to bring someone. And they're like, well, that's just part of your deal. Your deal's different than theirs. And I was like, well, can I bring my best friend? And he'll work on the show. He'll get paid. He'll do whatever. But then I'll have someone to pal around with at night and hang out with in the mornings. And they were like, and they were like real weird about it. And I was like super aggressive about getting it. Luckily, a lot of the people that worked on that show also worked with Davo before on other things.
It was,
So
Tree
that helped a
Makeover,
little
yeah.
bit too.
Yeah.
But every single day, I was like, oh, dude, this is so great to have like my buddy shooting the scenes. And there was days during shooting we wouldn't see each other.
Yeah, someday when they split up the crews,
Right.
you would go off with Terry.
But then afterwards, we would
then
still see each other like
I
the
think
second we wrapped.
I think every night.
Yeah.
I'd say, after we wrapped, almost.
Yeah, and
There's a
all the
couple-
dark days.
couple long days, maybe where we just.
I was
were,
going to
like,
ask how
too
many
tired.
dark days you guys have where you guys went off on your own adventures.
It was 2 a week, but we would
Yeah.
go do everything together. We'd go to baseball games in Japan and Korea and stuff like that. And what else did we do for fun? Like walk
Yeah,
around.
Yeah, we wandered around when we were in Berlin. We went to go see the wall. Saw all the
yeah.
history in Berlin. Munich, we just walked around because Munich was amazing in terms of just being able to get anywhere. You could just walk down the
To a
street.
strip joint in Thailand.
Yeah, we went there.
Can you believe that out? Can you?
It was amazing, just if you're curious. Although Thailand, you're worried that like some of these girls are boys. You have to worry about that. But I think that like in 2018 or 2007, to the modern times, you don't have to worry as much because there's been so many deaths from ladyboys
Oh my
not
God.
telling men that they're ladyboys and then the men finding out and
That went
being...
Norm Macdonald so fast.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, now they're so upfront.
Yeah,
ladyboy.
I
I'm a
think so,
ladyboy.
yeah.
Because they just had to learn the hard way
Yeah.
that, like, when you surprise someone with that, you can't surprise someone with that.
Ugh.
People don't act favorably when they find that out the hard way.
Yeah, that didn't. Luckily, we didn't have that problem.
Yeah, no scares.
Yeah, they're not like, oh, this is an ice cream cake.
That you know of.
What a surprise.
Did you ask?
No.
Okay, well.
But I feel like they offered up that information internally. Yeah. But just talking about ladyboys now. Well, here's an interesting thing about ladyboys.
Okay, here we go.
You can know when it's a ladyboy from 100 yards away based on how they're dressed. They could go in these really impoverished areas of like Thailand, and all the women are wearing like, you know, free beer shirts they got from like, you know, like the mail or whatever, and like some crappy, dirty khaki shorts, and like those are the real women. And then you'll see one that's like dressed to go to like a red carpet. Like she's got the hair and the nails, like all the stereotypes of like a woman. And you're like, even though that one's also a beautiful woman, that's a ladyboy for sure. Like, why is that one so dolled up? Well, all the other ones are like no makeup. They're like playing pool with each other.
Oh, that's right. We were
Yeah.
that one time we went to the pool hall.
Did you guys lose pool to ladyboys?
No,
No, we were just
Oh.
playing pool.
but
It
we
sounded
played
like
a
you
lot
guys
of
got
pool.
hustled by a couple ladyboys.
What's it called in Thailand? It's called like crooker or something like that. Or snooker.
Snooker.
Snooker. Yeah, they had like those snooker tables.
Oh,
Yeah.
snooky tables.
Yeah, a little bit bigger, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
Well, that's
some
a lot
some of
bigger.
them have like
Lot bigger.
bumpers on them in the middle and stuff too.
That sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and all the balls are red, which, you know, I'd be like, I guess I'll be stripes. I win. I'm going to win this for sure. Wait, so what did we say we're going to round back to earlier? We just said that. I was like, I want to hear the rest. I want to tell the rest of that story, but we have to go around first. Was it about baseball?
No,
It's about bears.
no.
No,
Pretty sure it's about bears.
because I was in Montreal all week. I was going to talk about that.
I thought about. Well, you said you like talking about those when people ask those things, like
Before
about
that.
comedy and stuff like that. When people ask him, it's like about The Bachelor. Like, yeah, that's work, but that's not like.
Right, but it was before we even introduced Davo. I was talking to you about something, then we moved over to Aaron, and then I was like, I actually want to talk about that, but first I want to bring Davo in. Do you remember?
I don't know. Me and Aaron went to a baseball game. We talked about that. and
Was it
then-
baseball games?
Mm-mm.
I can't remember.
We can
The
edit
train?
This, we can edit this little chunk out, but I was trying to remember.
I assume this was going.
Yeah. Tony's like, why are you giving me editing?
I know. It's the worst every time.
Well, you can leave it in, dog.
That's funny because
That's the thing with these things. They're with us. They're with us.
No,
So
no,
I don't think they're going to
it's
give a
just kidding.
shit.
What's funny to me is that like
Yeah, they're with us, and somebody
whatever-
with the good memories listening right now, being like, "Guys, it was clearly this. Why
know.
don't you remember?"
No, the funny part about whenever this comes up, and it's like if someone's talking and then they're like, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that," like the response is usually from "What are you two?" Who's always like, "Oh, we'll edit that." That's what's funny.
Yeah, we'll edit it.
we'll edit that out.
Tony's going to.
That's right.
We could talk about last week's episode a little bit.
Oh god.
Oh, you guys
man.
want to? That was a Davo.
Davo, we had a gal.
I didn't
Tana
heard
Lee.
that one. I heard the one where it was just the three of y'all. So that was
We had Tana Lee.
Okay.
She's a porn lady.
okay.
And spared no details and spared like zero hesitation. You could have asked her anything. What's your social? She'd just say, "Hey, what's tell us about your craziest sexual act." Oh yeah, this guy had shit in my mouth. He wanted to shit. Or, you
What's
wanted
a secret that might get you murdered later? Oh, I got one of those.
Oh my gosh! I mean, it was insane. It was too much. It was definitely. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle it. It was all like a little. I don't like talking about sex stuff. I don't like talking about my sexual endeavors. I don't talk about people I've hooked up with and other
As far
things.
as I know, Jeff's a virgin.
Well, yeah, super
Yeah,
virgin, bro.
Super virgin.
Mega virgin. That's
What's
what
the
they call
difference
it.
between a virgin and a mega virgin?
Oh, it means you like didn't even do second base or third base, just kisses.
Whoa, you're like
Mega
the worst
virgin.
batter of all time.
Because some virgins they walk around going, "Oh, well, I've never had sex. I'm waiting till marriage." Oh, she sucked my dick though. You're like nice little loophole you found. Like God doesn't care about that. You know, like while you're getting a blowjob in a car,
Can't say
it's
the
like,
Lord's name in vain if your mouth's
the
full.
Lord's shining upon us, isn't he? You know, we're getting a blowjob in a car. I don't think that's what he had in mind.
And he's like, "Good going, bro."
This
Yeah.
episode's going off the rails.
And God's like, oh, that
How's
doesn't
this off
count.
the rails?
What are you
Wait,
talking
so-
about?
It's shades of last week all over again.
So
We're still in.
did all
shock.
that stuff just come up just casually, or were you guys asking her all that sexual
Oh,
stuff?
she just went there, man.
No, she would just go there because we're asking about her life.
Why would I ask her about pooping?
if anyone would,
Well, no,
it would
but I
be
meant-
you, Aaron.
Good point.
No,
I
I'd
know
ask her about
sometimes you
bleeding.
guys-
Okay.
We were asking about her life. Like, we want to know about her
she
life.
was
But,
just-
like, you know, she has sex every day on Snapchat. That's a big part of her life.
Oh,
She has, you know, she's, that's how she makes all of her money is with, like, videos and that kind of stuff. So it was,
I
it was,
know,
in
I was
it, it was inescapable.
okay.
Also, I didn't appreciate that the one time I made a joke about something sexual, she's like, it always comes back to sex with you.
Yeah.
With me? What are you talking about? That was the first. I got really offended by that.
What do you
part.
want to talk about? Politics and
Yeah.
stocks?
It was
Come on.
ridiculous. Also, I
really-
did. It was like the first little quip I said that was even remotely sexual. I was like, "Don't paint me in that."
Yeah.
Anyways, we still haven't determined what what I wanted to talk about.
I don't know. I could stop recording and go back and listen, but that's a whole hassle.
No, we don't have to do that. But I introduced you. I
Yeah.
said, "How's your week?"
It was
you,
great.
You talked about what?
Mhm. I talked about, I don't know, he started talking about the bear draft and that
alright.
derailed
Oh, yeah.
everything.
Let's give your brother Timmy a big shout out too. Happy birthday,
yeah, it was his
bud.
birthday.
Oh, is he a bear too?
No.
Happy Big Bear shout out to Tim.
I don't know what Timmy would be. I don't know all the classifications.
Me neither.
Oh,
Probably
dude,
just-
you show me a picture. I'll tell you the classification. I work in West Hollywood, bro. I know.
What did you say you did this week?
I did stand up. I went to 2 baseball games. I rode the train with Tony. I covered it up. I bared it out.
Can't remember. It's okay.
Hmm.
It's not
I
a
mean,
big deal.
Comic Con happened. Did you want to talk about Comic Con?
Let's talk about
just
Comic
for
Con.
laughs.
Yeah, let's talk about Comic Con. Davo is a big Comic Con dude. How many times have you been?
I've been going since it's been about a decade.
Every year?
Wow.
Have you missed a year?
I've missed. So I've probably gone about 10 times. It hasn't been in a row. but
Okay.
it's spanned over.
I think the only times I've been to Comic Con, you were with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went
I
on
love Comic Con, but I've
two-
only gone
2 or
because I used to
3,
host it on Spike TV. Yeah, I did it 2 years or 3 years.
Yeah.
It's so fun. The only bad part about working on it with Spike is you don't get to dress up in costumes. They wouldn't let me do that because I'd like look like
I
a
thought you
host.
did dress up as Mike Tyson on that one show.
For one part,
Murder
and
Mystery.
I didn't get to pick the costume or anything, and
they-
so they did it. But it was cool. I was Mike Tyson from Mike Tyson's Mysteries. I had Norm Macdonald bird on my head. I had the tattoo on my eye, the exact blue jumpsuit. I mean, it was a really good rendition. The problem is, I'm a white guy, so it looked a little weird. Like white guy Iron Mike from Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Yeah, but you kept the whiteness, which is
yeah, I didn't go
appreciated.
blackface, which is good.
Yeah, thank
Smart.
you.
Yeah, good choice.
Smart choice.
What'd you think about Comic Con this year?
I mean, I always like Comic Con just because that's the world I always live in. But I thought this year was a little, I don't know, it seemed slower than
It was a
past.
little lackluster when
Yeah.
it comes to like.
Did you go, Tony?
Announcements.
No.
Okay.
I
Nothing-
just mean like on the outside and like the announcements.
Nothing
yeah, like
really big came out
Marvel
of it.
wasn't even there for
No Star
studios.
Wars.
Yeah.
I mean,
really?
DC had Aquaman.
Mhm.
I think one of the big thing that really came out of Comic Con and wasn't even a part of Comic Con was the James Gunn firing,
Yeah.
which happened over Comic Con.
Yeah.
Right.
But in terms of like when new
It's
stuff
usually
gets
just-
released,
Yeah,
it was
that's
kind
usually
of
the big part of the
yeah.
year when everyone's like, check out this new trailer. And it was like Godzilla and Aquaman.
that was
that
I would
was
say
it.
those were probably the main 2 ones. But and everybody always there was no Game of Thrones, no Westworld, no Stranger Things.
Yeah.
There was a lot. that
Not
was
even a
missing this year.
nosebleed.
Not even a nosebleed.
That's a bummer, dude.
Yeah.
I
Would
think
you say after going after a decade, you've watched a couple of the nerds get lonelier throughout the decade?
probably
You're
Like,
I
oh,
saw
that
this
Doctor
guy
Doom
last
is getting doomier.
Dude, just the
That's
costume.
probably part of it. That's what I like about Comic Con is it's such an accepting environment. You're like, I wonder what Wonder Woman would look like fat. Oh,
Oh,
there she
there
is.
we are, yeah.
There she is.
Oh my god!
What would Superman look like in a wheelchair? Oh, there he is. There's
There.
wheelchair Superman.
Well, to be fair,
Nope. I know what you're doing. I picked the wrong superhero
You
for
did,
that.
you did.
I would say the good thing about where you're saying you get to see what every person looks like
Yeah.
is that no matter what though, like you said, no one really. I mean, maybe there is judgment, but at least people, even if you think that Wonder Woman wouldn't get any photos with anybody because maybe there's
Oh,
an
no
overweight
way.
one,
She gets 100.
getting tons of
Yeah.
getting tons of
Yeah.
love, and I
That's
think
what I like about Comic Con.
Yeah.
and I think what a lot of people do dress up is they do like that whether people are making fun of them or not.
I
I don't
definitely
know.
am
I don't
checking
think
out
anyone's
Reddit
making
that
fun of
week.
him. Even me doing that little joke right there, I love it. I love that everyone feels safe. It's like a fun environment. Like, yeah, let's dress up as whatever you want. Be whatever the hell you
yeah.
want. It is weird to see them all weaponless. You know, like they have to like go through like these
have to go
checks,
scan,
and they're like, nope, can't have that. That could still hurt someone. So it's just like all these people without any.
It's like the beginning of Legend of Zelda when you're walking around without a sword.
Yeah,
And you're like,
it's
but
the
I'm
very
nothing
beginning.
without a sword.
Yeah, it's like that.
It's true.
What
If
is-
you could dress up as a costume guy, who would you be?
Yeah, because you've never worn a
Jeez.
costume. Out of all those years, you've never went and did the cosplay.
Oh,
I've
you
never
should.
went, but
Why? What's your problem with cosplay, Dave?
nothing. I feel
Dress up like Wonder Woman.
I feel like if I ever did a costume, though, I'd want to just go all out.
Yeah.
Make it the best cosplay costume.
So it goes viral.
I don't even know go viral, but just be fun.
Bioshock.
I remember Pinhead was a big one. I always wanted to walk around as.
That's
wow.
cool.
That'd be a tough
full
one.
That's
face.
a tough one, but I figured if you've done right, you would.
Yeah.
Do they have horror conventions? Can you go to like a Comic Con for horror
Totally,
stuff?
Yeah, there's
actually-
Monster Palooza comes to town, and Son of Monster Palooza is like next month.
Oh, really? I went to
Yeah.
one that was very small and very underwhelming
I think
at.
Like at
Yeah, that's
the-
called Son of Monster Palooza. It's next
gonna
month.
say.
I
No,
want
it
to
was
go.
in Burbank, like at a hotel.
Oh, Fangoria.
Maybe
the
that's what
Fangoria
it
one
was.
that they had. I don't
It
even
was
know if
very
Fangoria's around
disappointing.
Son of
anymore,
Monster Palooza is in Burbank, across the street from the airport next month.
I think that's the one I went to.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so underwhelming.
Yeah,
It was, and actually, you know what's funny is Dana Gould was there.
he's there this year.
He wasn't there. I mean, I don't think he was there like at a table or anything. He was just there with
Oh,
his
just hanging.
wife at the time, and we literally just spent a good amount of time making fun of the fest, making fun of it.
Well, he's got a TV show now that really takes advantage of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Stan vs. Evil is like a kind of a horror show.
I didn't know
Horror
that's
meets
a
funny.
show that he's got.
He created it.
Really?
Yeah,
What's it called?
That's a
Stan
good-
vs. Evil.
Never heard of it.
It's on IFC.
So was Monster Palooza pretty good though in terms of size wise?
Yeah, it's like twice as big.
Oh,
Like it's definitely bigger. Although I feel like all of the main booths you see at Monster Palooza are what shows up at Son of Monster Palooza.
Okay.
So I mean, so it's a lot of those like horror makeup people and like a couple of the props, a lot of the actors.
Yeah, a lot of like actors you wouldn't think would be there. You know, like the guy what's the Sam? Is that his name?
Oh yeah, Sam from Trick or Treat.
Yeah, Trick or Treat. That little kid,
little pumpkin
that's
guy?
in the Sam costume. He was there,
Oh.
and I was in. But here's the thing: I love that movie,
Mhm.
and I love that little character. I saw him sitting there at the table, and I was like, "Look at this kid! Nobody's in line for him or anything. Like no one gives a shit. I wonder what he's been." And then I went over and looked at all the things he's done in his career, and I was like, "Well, that's why no one's here. I mean, these are all like little bit parts, like and things. This guy's like a
Yeah, your
15-year-old."
face is covered up completely.
Yeah, and then I saw that one and I was like, oh, that's a huge one. Like that should be getting him some pop here and it didn't. Nobody wanted his autograph.
I know. I feel like Robert Englund was the only one that outside his makeup,
Wait, he's
people
the
seemed to
Stan Lee
yeah.
of horror movies.
But
He's
I mean,
at every convention taking pictures with every
Yeah.
single person.
besides, and then Kane Hodder, out of all the Jasons, he seemed to
He's the bigger Jason.
biggest one of
Yeah,
all the
but
Jasons.
yeah, but I think you're right. Like Robert Englund is like the only person I'd recognize.
outside
Like if
of
I was
his-
walking down the street, I'm like, oh shit! But like I wouldn't recognize Kane Hodder.
No,
I don't even think
I
I'd
don't know what he
recognize
looks like.
Elvira.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, you would.
She's made quite a commitment to never being out of that costume.
Thank God.
She goes
Then
to
I would.
sleep with the hair and the eye makeup and the pushed up cleavage like that. She doesn't know a world where she's not Elvira. Talk about holding on to a gimmick. The thing was kind of fun though. It's just so small, and that's what I didn't like about it. I would like talked up every booth, every table. I chatted them up,
It was like adult
asked
con?
about their stuff, even things I didn't like. And then when we left, it was only like we were only in there for like 45 minutes. Like that's how.
Yeah.
I tried to exploit every second of that place, and it was a waste of time. I think that's a deal breaker if a girl doesn't like horror films for me.
I was like, don't a lot of them not like horror films?
A lot of girls I've dated don't like horror films, and it annoys me.
Yeah, and where are they now? Exactly.
All of them have died in a really suspicious way.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like
Owls flying
Final
through the house,
Destination.
knocking them downstairs.
Yeah, and if they'd have watched the movie, they would have known how to like maybe survive some of these
right.
situations.
None of them have survived Halloween itself.
Do you guys know any girls that like horror films? Like, have you dated any girls that are like, I won't watch those?
I've dated girls that will watch them. I've met a lot of girls who like horror film, and I've
Oh.
tried to date absolutely every single one of them. And
Oh,
it's
really?
not worked out. Yeah. I try to get on like a murder, I'm just like, come to my house. Um,
There is always a pushback when you're dating a girl and you're like, I want to go see this horror movie. Like,
Yeah, I hate
no
that.
one really. No, I haven't met a girl yet that wants to go see one.
well, I mean, Halloween
Well,
Horror
like,
Nights is
picks
full of
one out.
girls that are obsessed with horror films. So
You
I met a
think
lot
so?
of them.
That's well,
Yeah, I
maybe.
was talking to them. They all were fucking really into it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. What about you, Tone? Do you even like horror films?
I do. I don't love them like you guys. Like, I don't need to see them.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm like hanging out and like we're gonna watch one, like I'm not gonna push back or like
Right.
leave.
As a pedestrian to
You
horror
know?
films, does it bother you when we choose a bad one?
No, I'd prefer a bad one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
My boy, Brant Tobler. I shout out every freaking podcast. I love this dude. But that was one thing he hated about me. I would put on a horror film and he'd be like, nope. And he would just like put on his headphones and he'd go like walk around like outside like for a couple hours. Or he'd go out on the patio and just chill out there. Like he hated my obsession with horror films.
Was he getting scared during them, or just found them
Yeah,
obnoxious?
he didn't like it. He got scared. I think maybe I'm misrepresenting him. I'm pretty sure that's why. He was like, no, that shit's too scary. I just don't like watching
well,
it.
my
I don't
problem,
like-
the reason I don't like really seek after watching horror films is
Because you can't masturbate to it.
A.
No, that's
And
not
B-
true. There's a lot of blood.
Hey.
There's so much blood. You
Aaron.
can't not. What?
Stop with the blood sex thing. Unless it's going to be first person. If you want to talk about your weird blood sex stuff, that's fine. And we'll allow it. But don't put that on Sweet Tone.
Yeah, come on, man.
All right, don't put that on me. It's
I
ridiculous.
guess I'm the only one that likes chocolate in my milk. All
Yeah.
right.
I don't even know what that means,
It
but
doesn't make any sense.
anyways, I love like classic horror films. Like I love like the original Halloween. I love Nightmare on Elm
Those are
Street.
great.
What I feel like now they're getting better, but I feel like there was a chunk of time when it was just like, all right, let's just get gross and nasty and not, and it's not like scary. And that I didn't like. And then I saw like when I watched Saw 1 for the first time, like that's my favorite one because it's like more of a psychological thriller.
Right. But
like-
they're still doing the gushy slasher
They
stuff.
turned into it, but the original one didn't.
Yeah, it was like a would you? Could you?
Like even the worst
You know,
part,
Chop off
which,
your leg. when you have to-
spoiler, yeah. Even the worst part, like when they're doing that part,
a 15-year ago spoiler.
I'm just saying they didn't
It's on
even
the
really
movie
show
poster.
it, right? They show
They
him
didn't,
kind of
yeah.
start and then it shows his face, and it reminds me of classic like Halloween when Halloween 2 or something when she's like in the backyard and then he's like gonna
Yeah.
slash her and that cuts to the sheets and it's like
See, I can do without any of the blood, without any of the guts. I don't like any of that stuff. In fact, I think most of the movies that me and Dave like, you would appreciate if that's your problem with horror films.
Yeah.
Because I like a monster, I like a alien, I like a paranormal, spirits, demons, any of that stuff. I don't need it to be graphically gross. I want the idea of like, oh, how are they going to get out of this
Right.
problem? Or also, I just like looking at the monsters. I think that's a cool part. It's like, what did the monster look like? Or that's why I hate it when the reveal of the movie is, oh, there was no monster all along. It was just them losing their mind, or they're just going crazy, or they were the monster.
Well, that's true. You're way more into monster movies than horror movies.
Right.
To decipher that.
I love a werewolf. I love like an alien thing. Like so any kind of thing. Even with the demon stuff, like I like it to, like possession movies. Like I still want them to see demons and see stuff so I can watch that. It's cool. It's cool to me.
I'll see. I love the blood and guts. I love the weird makeup stuff. And it's not because I'm like, I need blood and guts. It's like, I want to see something that I can't actually see in real life.
See, I think the blood and gut stuff is too much for me. It's like makes me like feel like, grossed out. Also, I gotta say, it's affected my dreams. My commitment to these horror films has affected my sleep for the last like 15 years.
Yeah, I remember I'll watch them, and then when you watch a horror movie, sometimes I'll watch them by myself. You
Yeah,
just
I
watch-
watch them by myself.
Then you turn
sometimes.
off all the lights, and then you just sit in bed, and then
Yeah,
everything
freak
just
out.
starts.
Yeah.
Everything seems like something's moving, or
I had sleep
You
paralysis
staring-
2 nights ago.
you stare in the corners
we
of
watch?
your room. You're like, "What's
Huh?
that?"
I
Did we
d-
watch something 2 nights ago? We watched a really bad one recently.
It was that cop one.
Yeah, that cop one was dumb.
I had sleep paralysis and I just couldn't get up. I couldn't move. I was stuck in my bed. I was freaking out.
Well, I want to say, if
I've had
anyone
those a
gets the
couple times.
I'll
go
say
ahead.
that Jeff's the funnest guy to watch horror movies with because he responds full body
Yeah,
to the scares.
Because I'm into it. I love it.
Yeah. There was once I was sitting like on the other side of the couch and he like jumped to grab my foot
Yeah.
because he was just
but-
like, "Ah!"
Yeah, also though that it works against me too. So one night we had a couple of lady guests, and me and Aaron watched a horror film with them, and they kept making jokes about the movie, but I was so wanting to be scared and wanting to enjoy it that I was hating every time they talked. I hated them so much for making like little, oh God, like why would they even keep that nun if she looked like that? Oh yeah, they fire nuns from the nunnery because they look spooky. Like that's not how it works. Like that's definitely not God's plan, you dumb moron. And Aaron, because he's fun and also, you know, he isn't as irritable about as things as me sometimes. Like
I've come to the conclusion people are stupid and I got to deal with it.
he was jumping in and making jokes too. So I was like, shut the hell up. Like, stop making jokes. So I was mean towards the girls, mean towards Aaron, because nobody was enjoying the movie. They were all just like making jokes. I was like losing my mind.
I feel like if there is one type of movie that takes you out of it, is the horror movie. Like any other movie you go watch where it's action or a comedy or even romance or something. But horror movies are the ones when you go to a theater and people are talking or you see them on their phone, it could take you.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
You have to get lost in it.
You have to get into this if you want to get scared.
When I think a part of my horror film love stems from the same way I love bad movies or the way I love bad magicians or the way I love pro wrestling. If we want to be nitpicky, we're going to find a million things. Oh God, his kick was 3 inches away from that guy's face. We all noticed. We all don't care. It's
Newsflash, he's not trying to kick him
Right,
in
yeah.
the face.
Yeah.
He's trying to make it look like he did.
Right. It's a show.
So he missed a few times.
Your need to point that out is what frustrates me.
Yeah.
And so I think that's with horror films. Like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of problems here. There's going to be a lot of problems in the script. There's going to be a lot
That's
of
part of
hokey
my
ass
love of it.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
we enjoy it. We don't need to
Totally.
point it out and make fun of it.
They're running through a hallway and we're going to see a camera when they run past the door.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that was the whole.
The demon's wearing a wristwatch for some reason. We don't know why. Like, why is it?
I mean, Wes Craven with Scream was just pretty much a play off of that whole thing.
Oh, really?
Making a horror movie that's making fun of all the horror movies.
Right.
You know,
I just love it so much. What's your favorite bad movie that you've ever seen? And we'll pitch it to our audience members. Patreon, get ready, baby. Get your notepads out, listeners. What's the best, worst movie you can think of that these people should watch? And when I say these people, I mean whites.
What?
I'm trying to turn the stereotype, back towards us. Like when you say these people, you mean like evil white people.
You're talking about The Amazing Race, Jeff.
I would
The
say
show The Amazing Race.
I would say Birdemic was the
Birdemic.
Oh, I know about that.
Birdemic.
I haven't watched it, but I've seen like YouTube videos.
Was it
about
trying to be funny?
No, I mean
don't
it was
think so.
trying to be.
They knew what they were being.
I think just like all those other, like The Room or
Okay.
Birdemic, is people going in.
Was it?
trying to make a good movie or just trying to make a movie?
Isn't it more comparable to Sharknado?
Yes,
It's worried
yeah.
about the very Sharknado-y thing.
And
I feel like-
hate those.
but Sharknado knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
I think with Birdemic or even Troll 2, like people that are
Troll
can't
2 was
make-
trying to make a good movie.
You can't make
Yeah.
a bad movie that's going to become a cult classic. It's
Right.
just you go in trying
Sure.
to make the best thing you possibly can, and then maybe it doesn't work out for whatever happens, and then it turns into either Birdemic, The Room, Troll 2,
Right.
all the ones that
Birdemic. I'll give it a shot. But if I feel like they're if I feel like they're in on the joke, I no longer
Well,
enjoy it.
So what happened is Birdemic came out, and it turned into one of those cult classics that everybody's like, "You gotta see Birdemic," and then someone gave them tons of money to do a sequel, and that's where you get the whole Sharknado. Now they're in on it.
Yeah.
Now I'm out.
Well, so
But
the
I'll watch
sequel
the first
sucks.
one.
first.
Sure.
I'll watch the first one. My favorite ever that I will recommend vigorously is Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Yeah.
This stars
I
Roddy
remember this.
Piper. He is a criminal on the run. He has somehow they find out at the jail that he is the most potent sperm ever, and he is very fertile, which is perfect for the time scenario that they're in. It's so far in the future that frog people are taking over Earth, and humans are becoming this rare species. So, with permission from the government, he is allowed to leave with guards and rape all the women he finds to keep the human species alive, which means Roddy Piper is just finding these beautiful women, by the way, hiding in bushes, and he's like, "Come here!" And he like has sex with
Oh
them.
my god.
And what's great too is he has a chastity belt, which the whole premise of a chastity belt is to keep you from doing anything with your privates. when he gets an erection, it opens the chastity belt. Like that doesn't do anything. He's just got uncomfortable underwear. But it's an incredible movie. The frog people look so ridiculous. The storyline is insane. And it's such a good movie that all the people that were in Hell Comes to Frogtown, you can find them all shoot on it somewhere on the internet where they're like, oh, they tried to get me to do a sequel. I said, no, it was like the worst movie I've ever seen. We thought the script was funny. We didn't know they were trying to really make an action movie. It's really, really good.
And it's coming to Netflix in 2019 as a series.
I'm buying it. I hope
That'd
to
be
star
awesome.
in it. It's my favorite thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, if they were to actually make it a series and put a pro wrestler in there as the lead, which pro wrestler would you throw in there?
Cena. He's the big star now, right? Isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, well, The Miz is the A-lister.
Woof. So go ahead. What do you guys think? Best, like some movie you'd recommend if people enjoy crap movies?
Man, I'm having a hard time not talking to like the cliche one, like The Room and stuff like that. I'm trying to think.
Maybe
of one
people
that's
don't know.
like-
I mean, I think people know about Room now because Disaster Artist.
Yeah, Room's out there.
I don't know if Troll 2, I think that's a great selection. I have a little date coming up where I'm going to be watching Troll 2 with someone.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've watched the movie 1,000 times.
Well, what about, would you say, would They Live fall into this
Yes.
category?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Because They Live turned out to be a good movie, though.
Well, that's
you haven't seen They Live recently.
I watched it with you last year.
Well, and you thought that was a good movie?
It turns into one. It starts bad and then slowly it reveals how good it is.
Oh,
I love it.
You know you're
That
wrong.
fight scene?
It's so bad. She
That fight
throws
scene's
him
great.
through a sliding glass door and he tumbles down like a whole cliff. And then
Yeah.
later on they're kissing. Like 7 minutes later in the movie, you're like, no, she tried to kill you a bunch of times.
Yeah, that movie was awesome.
It's ridiculous.
a great
And another
movie.
Piper is the lead,
Yeah.
which makes me happy. All right, so what do you think? Troll 2?
Yeah, that I can't believe that exists.
This will be fun. Do your best
Amazing.
to describe the storyline of Troll 2. Pitch it to us like we don't know what Troll 2 is about.
Good God,
Good God.
I don't. I remember when I first found out about it. I had friends from Norway, and they were like obsessed with it because it's like real stories that get told over there. And
Did they
tried
think
to,
it was a
like-
good movie?
No,
Okay, I just
No.
had to make sure.
but like that's like I can't even begin.
I could try to pitch it.
Do it.
There is a family in the suburbs.
I'm out.
And they decide for their vacation this year that they're going to switch houses, do like a swap with a different family, and which makes no sense. Why is that a thing? And all the kids are against it because they're snotty teenagers. Like, I don't want to go to the middle of nowhere. And so they decide to switch with this really weird family. But when the family comes to switch, they're very suspicious. And so they switch, but then once they get to the other house, this town of Nilbog is just unique.
I love Nilbog.
Everything is weird. Everything is strange. It's not like the thought. And the dad keeps being like, well, this is a small town. They do things different here. So he keeps justifying everything as strange as it is. But you find out that the town is full of goblins who will turn you into a tree and then eat you because they eat trees. And so the family tries to survive, even though lots of people get turned into trees.
And one of my favorite clips on the
The
internet
big reveal.
is the one with the guy saying they're eating her.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're going to eat me. Oh my god!
Yeah.
And that fly is like stuck on his forehead.
Yeah. And it should also be noted, the people that made this movie, that wrote the script, they're French people who came to America to make a movie, but they landed in Utah where they got their like location permits and stuff. So they just put up on like a billboard in the library, like, who wants to be in a movie, like running auditions. So everyone that was in the movie is like regular people who have never acted like a day in their life.
Nothing
And it
wrong with
shows.
That will do.
And it shows.
So bad.
It
My
pains me
favorite
to
thing
watch.
about the movie is when you first show it to someone, the first person comes on and you can like pause it and be like, right? And they're like, oh my God, that was horrific. That was the worst acting I've ever seen. Then the next actor comes on a screen and you're like, no. That was the worst actor I've ever seen. And it just keeps going for like 5 actors deep before you get to like a 6th actor where it's like a girl doing bench press in her like room for no reason at all to like some 80s music. And then she reads her lines. You go, oh yeah, that's the worst. Just continues to be the shittiest. Great movie.
I went to a AFI Fest a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like their horror section.
I didn't realize AFI would do that.
Huh?
The American Film Institute?
Yeah.
They celebrate horror films?
Well, no, it was like people who had just made like short films, and it was like the horror block. And I had a friend, she was like, yeah, do you want to go to this? And I was like, yeah, sure. We didn't know that's the section that it was in. And we saw the worst
really?
things. We saw one good one,
Yeah.
which was called Slut, and it's really good.
Really?
It's a short film, and it's like
You can't Google that.
It's really, really good.
Yeah. How do you find slut on the internet if that's the name of your
I know it's
film?
on YouTube.
There's lots of short films called Slut.
Yeah. But then the worst one I saw was about a guy who was in, like, he was so deformed, like in real life.
Oh.
And he's like in a wheelchair, and he goes to these like adult film bookstores, and he just goes to the glory holes.
Gross.
I don't.
And
like this.
it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
But the actor was actually deformed?
Yeah.
Did you think he wrote it, or do you think
I don't know.
he?
But the story was that, like, since he's in his wheelchair, he can't he only gets to give. He doesn't get to receive.
Oh, like the
because
Giving
he's-
Tree.
Because
That's
he's
a
all
wonderful
messed
book.
up, right? And then one of his friends who just feels real bad for him goes with him and like holds him up against the wall so he can finally get his turn. And we left.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I'm also having trouble understanding how he can only give but not receive.
Because he's in his wheelchair and he can't
He
stand,
can't
up
stand up
to
and put his wiener in.
reach the hole.
Okay.
He can just reach it with his face.
Oh, I see. So he's doing that all those times.
Yeah, and they showed everything. So
You're kidding.
No.
We can't shame the
Dead
last
serious.
episode and then have this conversation
That
today.
is, talk about, that is frightening.
it was horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was truly horror.
true horror.
Yeah.
I wonder how you find that. What was the name of that one? Because that may be a funny watch. It
I
just
re-
is so bad.
I ran out of there so quick. If you Google it, you might be able to find it. I
Oh,
don't know.
no.
I don't want to Google
AFI.
any of the words
Just-
you said that describe that.
That's
together.
what I'm saying. I said you can Google it. I will
Yeah.
not be.
Deformed glory hole
Movie.
receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wheelchair glory hole.
And
no.
at first I was like, where is this going? And then you just see like
Wheelchair
a
glory
dick come out of the glory hole. You're like, oh no.
Wait, do you
do you
think it was
see a
a
dick?
real penis or a fake one?
Guarantee you it was real.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my
It looked at me.
goodness.
It was the worst.
It winked
It was
at
the
me.
worst.
That sounds insane. Aaron, you still haven't said what your worst movie is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was throwing up in my mouth a whole
Yeah.
bunch because
Oh, and I wasn't saying like how this segment's like, oh, what's a bad movie you should watch? No, I'm saying don't watch this.
Yeah,
movie.
that one. Yeah,
That's
I
what I'm
think-
saying.
I don't think
So
anyone,
watch Slut,
I don't think
though. That's
anyone
great.
would if you told them to. That's the way you described it was
Cruel
horrific.
and unusual
But
punishment.
also, that's a nice tale about friendship, I think.
I guess.
Yeah, there's a
I
really
guess
good
that's
sweet
the
ending.
point. I
There
guess
was a
that
nice
the
little
point.
part where
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone's
friendship
like,
wins again,
I
man.
couldn't help but notice his wiener hasn't been touched.
Hey, bud, did you need some help there?
Hey, man.
That's exactly what happens. I could believe it. I could believe it.
I like how you almost went Mitch on it.
It's
Hey,
like,
man,
hold
Hey,
you
man.
need help with this?
You
It's
want me
like
to
hold 'em
pick
like
you
a
up?
baby is bad. It's
Oh, I'll hold you up.
yeah. Anyways,
Tell me when you're done.
watch Slut though. That's a good one.
Have fun Googling that. You're not going to find whatever you saw. that
I'm
was
sure you
good.
will. It's an AFI thing. So.
AFI short film
Slut. Called
slut.
You're
Slut.
just going to find an emo chick if you look up AFI slut.
What's the worst
I
that could
guarantee,
happen?
I guarantee you I can find
That's
it. Go.
true.
Tell yours.
Glory.
Tell
Brian,
yours.
what are you worried about?
I'm a huge fan of Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Great movie.
It's fantastic.
Some of the
That's
better
awesome.
gifs too. So if you just put Killer Clowns from Outer Space GIF,
Some-
you save
Oh,
about 8 of those. You can put them in conversation situationally. They're great.
Yeah, and so many people have never. He found it. So
Found
many
it.
people haven't heard of it that when the gift shows up, they're like amazed. Like, what even is this?
Yeah. How'd you
And
find
so
this?
the background story of this movie, which makes it kind of acceptable, is there these guys that want to get into movie magic and movie makeup, and so they made like these 3 great looking clowns, and they had a couple illusions they knew how to do, and so they made a real loose storyline of how to put all of it
And they
together.
starred themselves as the actors,
yeah,
which is my greatest called shot in movie history. That I go, I think I said to you, right?
yeah,
I
you
said,
did.
that guy is such a bad actor that I am willing to bet he's the one who made this movie.
And I was even like, no, and I looked it up and I was like, nailed it.
Yeah, because all the other people were just bad actors, plain out. But there was one that was like so over the top and like ridiculous, and he was like a main.
And it was pretty
character.
early in. It was like when Steph Curry would throw over half court because it was just like,
Yeah.
right, they're already up by 25, so who cares?
And I think it was both those guys. It was like those guys
Yeah,
right there that drive
you
the ice
named
cream
both of them.
truck.
Yeah.
Those guys are easily the creators
Okay.
of this. Like
I
they're
remember
just
those
so
two, yeah.
bad.
But to name a movie you don't know
What's that?
is Freaked. I love the movie Freaked. Have you seen this movie?
Pitch us. Pitch us
So
a
it's
freak.
the guy from
Sounds
Bill
familiar.
and Ted that's not Keanu Reeves,
The blonde.
the blonde guy.
Fake Sean Penn.
He
Everyone thinks Sean Penn's
wrote
in that movie.
and
Oh,
directed
really?
this piece. It was like his like swan song. He thought this was going to take him into high heights, and it destroyed his career. And it is about a guy who is on an airplane. He's like a child star who's now an adult and kind of a problem person. On an airplane, his behavior is so bad it crashes the airplane to where he thinks he finds like a carnival of freak shows, but it turns out the ringmaster is doing all these crazy genetic testing to create these freaks. And so now he's going to bring them back. He's going to save them all and bring them back to Hollywood and make them
I
all
remember
famous.
And it's called Freaked.
Yeah.
It sounds incredible.
And it
Oh, it is.
Why have we not watched this?
there's the ringmaster's a guy you love. What's his name? This is the guy from all the National Lampoon movies, not Chevy Chase, the uncle. He's a
Oh,
crazy
Dennis.
person
Oh,
on
yeah,
Twitter.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid is
Is it Randy Quaid or
Randy
Dennis
Quaid. No, no,
Quaid.
see, definitely
Randy
Randy.
Quaid.
Randy
Randy
Quaid.
Quaid is the greatest.
Oh, that's right. He's
Yeah,
Dennis
he's the
Quaid's the
ringmaster of it, and he's awesome. Bobcat Goldthwait's in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bobcat Goldthwait is one of my favorite celebrities. I would hope to have him on this podcast someday. I love him to death. I've followed his whole career. I know all of his albums I have. Like, I'm a real big fan. But he made the worst Bigfoot movie that's ever been made. He made a movie called Sasquatch or something like that. It's the worst. Out of all the Bigfoot movies, I'd put it dead last.
It's
Is that
crazy
the-
because
is
most
that
of his movies
the-
are pretty good.
Yeah, is that the found footage one that was recent a couple years ago?
Yeah,
do that
where
one?
like it sounds like it's found, like
Yeah, I
they
think
make it
so.
seem like it's found footage. It's so bad. The ending, like, which I don't care about spoiling it because it's been out for like a decade or been out for like a few years, and then
I think
also,
all the Sasquatch fans have found it.
yeah, they tried to make it seem like Bigfoot wasn't a thing, and it's just like this like weird people in the woods that are like causing all these noises and stuff. It's like,
Which you find offensive as a Bigfoot guy.
man, it sucked. Show us a Bigfoot, man. Give us a Bigfoot movie.
How do you feel about the Bigfoot news?
They just tease us the whole end for that. Yeah, was there some sort of Bigfoot news? Some guy's got some Bigfoot sexual fantasy,
Yeah, like some politician said the other politician likes Bigfoot porn.
which doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
What is
Okay.
Bigfoot porn?
Yeah.
It's definitely not real, or else we'd have
Rule
actual great
34,
footage.
bro.
of
Should we
it.
call Tana Lee? Ask her what the.
Oh, she's
It's
like, oh
Rule
yeah, it's on my
34.
Snapchat.
It's what?
It's Rule 34
What's that?
that if it exists, there's porn about it. That's Rule 34.
But Bigfoot might not exist to a lot of people.
But the idea exists.
Well, now he does. That's
Ah.
confirmed footage.
It's
know what I
crazy to me that this guy'd be into that.
just like there's alien
Doesn't bother me.
porn, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
Oh,
there's,
we got to start be more creative with our porn searches. If there's Bigfoot
Way
porn
in front
and
of you
alien
guys.
porn, and I'm not even finding out about it, I'm 35
here's what's
years
going to
old.
blow your mind. There's probably Bigfoot and alien porn
Jeez.
together.
I don't want to mix the things
Well,
I
on
like
that
with
note, we're gonna
sex.
go watch the internet.
I don't want to mix things I love with sex. It's a
Wait, what?
It's a dangerous thing to go down. You can't be like, oh, food porn. You're like, no.
You don't want to mix things you love with sex.
Well, like I love sex.
Mm-hmm. Like,
And
let's
I
say you
love
love a lady.
things.
Why wouldn't you want?
I don't need to
combine these
merge
things?
these things.
And do you know what's funny is that like porn like has such a negative connotation to people. Like, I don't want to talk about porn, or like, it just has like this dirty vibe. But like food porn is like a great thing.
Right. Doesn't make any sense.
It's called the
It's
Food Network.
backwards.
But people will people like mix like food with sex. And then it just becomes like this link. Now they're like, every time they eat, they're having some like craving for sex. Like, you can't merge
Pavlov's
those
dog.
worlds.
Yeah.
Pavlov's what?
You know about Pavlov's dog?
Nah,
Explain
man.
it.
He would ring a bell every time he fed his dog. It was like an experiment where once he trained him enough, he could ring a bell and the dog would start to salivate because it thought he was going to be
Yeah.
eating. So it's got that same thing.
I thought it was called Pavlov's Law. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
No, what's that?
Maybe it's Pavlov's dog and I just heard it wrong. And I've been saying it wrong my whole life. I thought Pavlov's Law meant like someone will see you do it and then they'll do it.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, kind of basically like, they wouldn't have otherwise done it, but they're like, oh, everyone else is doing it. So like, that's what you're supposed to do.
Like Pogs.
No,
You-
nothing like Pogs. You can't just chime in with a random, deers. You're like, nope, that's not
Yeah,
a thing,
dude.
Aaron Marsh.
I didn't play Pogs
You
first. I
little
watched someone play Pogs and went, oh, I'm going to
shit.
play Pogs later. I didn't invent Pogs.
I don't know what he's
I
talking
didn't realize
about.
you invented the Pog.
I didn't say that either. What are you talking about?
You just go down deeper into the
I'm
rabbit hole.
worried about
Yeah,
Aaron
that's
Marsh.
right.
I was at Montreal this week. We could talk about that.
Yeah. Let's do it.
It was weird. Weird festival. I had a lot of good times with Nick Swartzen, Pete Lee, Mike Vecchione, Chad Dennis. We had a good time. All the comedy was great. But Montreal feels a lot like summer camp. You know, whether you have this victory, you're like, I'm the most popular kid at summer camp and everyone likes me. And oh man, I'm making a lot of friends at summer camp. And then one night you'll just see like all the cool kids going into the woods. And you're like, where are they going? Like,
Hey guys.
why wasn't I invited? Like, I kind of want to, what are they smoking weed or go? Like, it felt like that a lot of the time where you kind of just don't know.
Yeah,
how,
that's got to be weird.
Yeah, but you had a great
Having so many-
interaction with Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, it was good to catch up with Tiffany Haddish, and we chatted, and she's the best. I would love to have her on here. I'd love to just work with her. She's one of my favorite people. I saw like, yeah, it was weird. It was just a weird place to be. Comedy is a weird business. It just feels like you're constantly being left out, or like, I don't know. Just being in the place was weird. It's a little bit.
But that's one of the big comedy showcases in the
It's
North America, I guess.
Yeah, it's the biggest comedy festival in the world, easily,
Oh, in the world.
hands down.
Okay.
But with that means that all the biggest acts go there, you know? So it's like industry isn't going to be popping around the shows I'm on. So I'm being just as ignored by industry there as I would be ignored here. You gotta hope you just do so good and get like such a good reputation and get some buzz going that everyone's talking, you know. So I did fine. I did good. I think a lot of people did, but I also think like the industry is just looking for the next
The
thing.
next big thing. I mean, the way you talk about it, it sounds like there's some sort of scale in how like, are people judging you on
Yeah.
your thing and they give you a report on your stand-up or?
Stand up feels like, or Just for Laughs Comedy Festival feels like Shark Tank, where you go in, you do your little song and dance, you do your thing, and then a bunch of wealthy people in suits go, pass, and one person's like, maybe, could you do this, could you do that, and like, and then the other people are just hoping to get on Shark Tank, you know, like, oh, I hope that have you heard about my product, Mr. Cuban? Like, and that's kind of what it feels like constantly,
Oh.
and then
So desperate?
it does feel very well. Yeah, it does feel a little desperate as the artist, but then it also feels like if you're going to be a purist and be elite, then they don't care either. If you're gonna be like, I don't care about this Netflix party. Well, no one noticed. No one's gonna miss you. Like I stormed out of the Netflix party, like I was like annoyed about how like gross it kind of felt. No one cared. It was like that. Lots of people aren't here. Go back to your hotel and pout. We don't care. So it was weird. It was just like a lot of high highs and low lows. I'm so happy. That's another reason I'm so happy to be home is because I feel like, oh, back to like normal.
Yeah, what most people
Life.
don't know that listen to this is when you leave town, you're gone for like 3-4 days.
Right.
This was like how many, like 11, 12 days?
Yeah, I was gone for like 12 days, which was a lot.
Yeah, so it's like 3 times the amount of travel that you would normally do
Yeah. It
all
was
together.
pretty taxing on me. That's why I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, because you leave for months at a time.
Yeah.
What's the longest stint you were like taken out of your life for work?
Probably, what was it? It was 7 to 8 weeks gone.
Where were you
Just in
filming?
one city. It was The Bachelorette with,
Mm.
it was years ago. I forget her name. But we shot in Charlotte, and then from Charlotte we went to Bermuda, Croatia, Prague, and London. Then I went to Chicago, and then I came home.
That's
So
insane.
I did that.
Well,
run.
but you're also with a crew.
I'm with the crew, who I've worked with for a really long time,
Yeah.
which is one great thing about that. I mean, whether you like the show or not, but the crew's awesome,
Yeah.
and we've become a family in a way. So you're gone for so long. A lot of these guys do have families. I don't. In terms of, I don't have a girlfriend or a wife or any kids. But
So if
these-
you're listening, you like what you see.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Single on the prowl.
Single.
Yeah, shout out your Instagram.
and I'm gone for a really long time.
Yeah.
yeah,
but
Weeks at a time.
yeah, you
Makes
become-
tons of money. Huge old dick.
3,
Yep.
1,
Just trying to
0.
help.
You're
Trying to
writing
help
this
out.
down. 6, 4, 9.
Yeah, you become family with all these people, and it's great to. I mean, it's great to go to these places. Someone's paying you to go to these places,
Yeah.
and part of my job
Yeah,
is
some of those places.
all these places, and then part of my job is to do B-roll in a lot of these cities, which is like, hey, you're in London, can you just take the camera out and the tripod and go film Big Ben?
Yeah,
and
B-roll's
all
like
the things
the
that you would
dream
want to
for a
go
lot
to
of those guys. Yeah.
all the things you'd want to see in the cities. They're like, hey, your job today is going to go take you to inside of
You're going to
Big
be a
Ben.
tourist
You go to Parliament.
Instagram for
Yeah.
NBC.
Pretty much. But
Not NBC always, but
ABC.
yeah.
NBC.
ABC. ABC.
But wait. So let's say you meet some girl. That's great. Are you allowed to take her with you to any of that stuff? You think
We can, yeah, you can have a guest with you.
Bro,
that just
you got a
plays-
cub right here
That
the whole
just-
time.
Yeah.
I've never been to Charlotte.
Next time we're in Charlotte.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you
Out
can.
of all, he's been to like 100 countries. This guy, and you're interested in seeing Charlotte. What a low maintenance guy.
Yeah, come
Yeah,
on
they
out.
got
Next
Michael
time we're in
Jordan stuff
Charlotte.
there, man. That's where he's at.
That's right. Got the Hornets. But yeah, we can have guests. But most of the time, our day consists of 12 hours. So if you are coming to visit, you're probably more than likely not going to see me. You know,
Wow, that's
I'll wake
crazy.
up. I'll wake up early. I'll work my 12. Sometimes there's overtime, and then you come back and you kind of just eat dinner, go to bed, and start it over again. So I mean, it's kind of like you get to go hang with your buddy, but you never get to see your
Yeah,
buddy
for a
when,
couple hours.
when you're there.
Well, that's the thing. I was like wondering with Better Late, the way you guys would have to shoot super early, and then right when you were done, I was like, "Hey, let's go out and let's do
Yeah.
stuff."
You were done way before us.
Right? And I
Way
also
early.
got to sleep in longer than you guys generally.
Mhm.
So I always think like you just have to decide a lot of times. Would I like to have fun, or would I like to get like a good, nice rest?
There's you definitely get that a lot on the road.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when it's season 1 and 2 with Better Late, there's just you're in cities that I mean, I haven't been, or when we went to Lithuania,
Yeah.
you know, you just
You want to see
you
that
just
city.
go out
yeah.
and you go out and see the city, and we did
But it's
have
also
some late
good, like you can
nights.
go like out on like with the crew and like you guys
Yeah.
could like when I'm on the road with
We all have the same
freaking
schedule.
stand-up comedy, like if those comics that I work with that weekend are like nerds or something, they're like, oh, I'm married and I don't drink, and so I'm gonna go home right after the sets. Not that if you're married or don't drink, you're a nerd, Tony. I saw that glance. I'm suggesting that when you're on the road and you have no friends, and the comic before you is coming up with all these excuses why they can't hang out, and they just leave afterwards, you're like, I guess I'm gonna sit at a bar
Yeah.
with a whiskey and just hope someone talks to me. Like it's like the weirdest.
Yeah.
But
Oklahoma
again,
City's fun.
I'm only gone for 3 days.
Yeah.
So I get, even if it's the worst 3 days of my life, I get to come right back to LA and have fun again. But to be gone for months, it's a blessing to have that crew with you, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it's great because then a lot of the times on these shows you do get a dark day.
Yeah.
So everybody's always planning like, oh, who's off on Monday? You're like, oh, I'm off. So there's a couple crews off, and then you can all figure out what you're gonna do. Sometimes you go out into the city. Sometimes we all just chill. It all depends really, but yeah, it's great to have at least somebody there. Like I said, it does get pretty lonely, but it's great to have people you've been working with year after year be there.
Yeah.
There is
And
somebody to hang
you
out
got
with.
fired for a little while. You want to tell that story?
Fired?
Yeah, remember that? So I've told the story.
Not on the podcast.
Never on the podcast.
With the tripod?
Yeah.
Oh, the tripod. Yeah.
What'd you do
It's
to
just-
a tripod? Did you steal a tripod?
No, it was.
steal a tripod.
I think it was 2010, and I was on The Bachelor, and we went to South Africa, and we were in the middle of the bush shooting a sunset.
The middle of a bush?
The
The
bush.
bush out
What's
there
the
in
bush?
Kruger Park,
Okay.
where all elephants, lions, and all that.
Sorry, I don't know all
Africa.
about South Africa.
Africa.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
So we shot the sunset, and we were in the middle of nowhere in
Mhm.
in this Kruger Park, which is I think it's as big as California. Kruger Park is right on the west coast of Africa, from South Africa up. And once the sun goes down in the bush, there's no light besides your flashlight, whatever. There's no city lights coming in and bleeding in. You can still see stuff. You can't see anything except for the stars, all the stars. You can see all the stars. So we had to rush because we had to get the gear. We were already in overtime. We had to get the gear from the middle of nowhere to the tech room, which was an hour away. All while it's pretty dark. So I grabbed the gear. We put it in the Range Rover. You drive to the van. From the van, you transfer everything from the Range Rover to the van. The van will take you to the tech room, which is an hour away. So this is where, I remember grabbing the tripod, The only where it gets blurry is where I went from the Range Rover to the van.
He had some drinks.
No drinks, and we just needed to get back. But I don't. It was one of those things where you get in the van and you're driving away, and you're like, "Wait a minute! I don't remember grabbing."
But did you just abandon a Range Rover?
No,
No.
we leave the Range Rover, get out of the Range Rover, and then put it in the van, all the gear.
Okay.
So I don't know why. I just never. I had one of those thoughts where you're in the van, and you're like, "Where did I have? Is the tripod in here?" You're like, "Of course it's in here. Why wouldn't it be?" Get to the tech room, and then people are helping you move the gear into the tech room. And then it was another one of those thoughts where, did I move the Did I take it from the van to the tech room? And you're like, but somebody must have grabbed it because there was people helping you bring it in. Fast forward to the next day, I couldn't find the tripod. It wasn't anywhere. No one had grabbed it. No one had seen it. Went through all the protocol, told the bosses, even called the safari company myself to see if it was still happened to just be in the Range Rover because we left when the park was closed. So nobody had a new tour hadn't come in and taken the Range Rover. The van that picked us up in the morning was the same one that dropped us off like 8 hours ago. I was like, "Hey, did you see it?" Nothing. So never found the tripod. And then
How expensive is this tripod?
Hundreds of dollars. I'm just kidding. No,
was about-
thousands.
it was like 10 grand.
All right, cool.
So I knew what was gonna.
Aaron used to haul heavy shit for things.
Yeah. Coyote has a lot of expensive
Tripods.
equipment. Yeah,
Yeah.
we would sub the tripods, but
Yeah.
I've definitely been transporting tripods that are 20,000.
Imagine
Yeah.
losing one of those. How fast they'd say, "Yeah, we got to let you go."
Yeah. So didn't find it. I knew.
Yeah, you lost the Honda
I
Civic.
owned up. I mean, I wasn't trying to hide it and say. I said my thing was like, listen, I lost the tripod. It's like a running joke. This page, people are like, someone's they're using it in South Africa.
Yeah,
right
how
now,
steady are the shots on these
With just an
websites? for this?
iPhone. They're just like, they have an iPhone
but it's
hooked
just a
up to the.
giant check.
Dude, like,
So yeah, they were, and then for a little bit they weren't going to bring me back, and I even asked, "Is this because of the tripod?" And they're like, "Yeah." So, but then
Then they brought you back.
brought me back
pretty
eventually,
soon
so,
after.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a pity.
The
and if
industry's
anybody
interesting that
knows,
way.
It's a big this tripod it's really hard to lose.
Right.
So it's
but
It's definitely
you
a
know
stain on
something's
my
gonna
career.
break, something's gonna get lost. They have a COI for this.
yeah, I know, but I just in terms of who I am as a person, like I try to pride myself on not losing something so big.
I would have blamed it on someone else.
Like,
I'd have been
you
like,
should have seen it. We're running from a
"Guys,
tiger.
There's
and
a
we had to throw
tripod missing. Aaron lost it. All right. I just want to be honest. I'm a good guy. I don't want him squeaking around here without telling you. Aaron lost it.
Dude, they would fire me immediately. Are you kidding me?
It's
Between the two of us,
I
they'd be
watched-
like, "Oh, that makes sense."
Yeah,
Hey,
it
Aaron,
sounds like Aaron.
Aaron, did you lose anything last night? I'm like, "What?" Like, hey, go in the van. You're going home.
Don't worry, he'll deny it. Just go ahead.
Going home early, cool.
Yeah, it's a
Forever, cool.
I like home forever.
I was on Last Comic Standing, and a cameraman asked me in a really stressful moment. He just had he had his hands full, and he's getting yelled out in his earpiece. He's just like freaking out. I watched him have like this little meltdown, and he's at Bed Bath and Beyond, and because that's where we're shooting that episode, like some challenge for Last Comic, and he's carrying the camera in like a shopping cart because he's just so stressed out. But then they were like, "Oh, get it out of that shopping cart. It's an expensive camera." And he's like losing his mind. And he finally just goes, can you hold this for me? And I held the camera. And he moved the shopping cart. He put it over there. He did some other crap, put it on. He goes, thank you. Because like someone helped him. They saw it on camera that I was holding it, some bozo comedian on a reality show. So I was, nobody to them. So like, did you have a comedian like who's the talent, like hold your camera? And he was just gone the next day. Like we just never saw him again, which was insane.
Murdered.
Yeah, they killed him. They killed that kid.
They took him to the parking lot and lit him on fire
That's how
in front of the
serious
other
it is.
cameramen. And they're like, "You see the message we have to send? We're not happy with this."
Yeah.
with my
They
tripod.
all raped and killed his body. It was horrific.
Oh man,
It was horrific.
Tony saw it in a 20-second movie.
Ugh, yeah.
It was called Slut from AFI.
Yeah, they had to hold a wheelchair guy up to the fire.
Oh, I'm
He
gonna
couldn't
look for
see.
that movie, by the way.
Please don't.
I think it'll be great
All right,
because it's it's so bad.
it's your funeral.
Also, you said, what
If
did
I can't find that movie, I'm gonna remake that movie.
remake it?
Sequel.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast the most deformed looking person I can find. Thank you, Craigslist, in the future already.
I think that's how you find those. Just go
Yeah,
to
I'm gonna
go
pay
to
him
a
in
place
coupons.
where there's
We're gonna
glory
get-
holes. You'll find the star of
Yeah.
your movie.
Oh, yeah, what if he's already there waiting
He's
for
like,
me?
yeah, I've been waiting for someone to make a movie about
Oh, a
this.
sequel? I've done this before.
Will I get free glory hole perks?
He's gonna help me light it. He goes, last time we filmed it, we lit over here and over there.
You'll find that guy.
Yeah.
All right. I love you, Davo. Thanks for being on the pod,
Yeah,
man.
thanks for having me, guys.
You got anything you want to plug,
Like your phone number?
ladies?
I got nothing.
Aaron?
Nothing to plug.
Go to my Instagram at Aaron M. Marsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, on September 12th, I'll be in the Flappers Yoo-Hoo room.
Ooh, doggy.
Ooh, flappers.
You also been doing Alfred's podcast, I noticed.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm doing Alfred's podcast. I guess it'll be this comes out, I think, the
Wait,
day after
you're-
I do it.
Yeah.
You're cheating on.
I've
Yeah,
been doing this
it's
show.
just a funny guest
called-
on another podcast as well.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called Your Team Sucks with Alfred Robles.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's a fun show. We go through the sports news, and I make fun of Alfred, and he makes fun of me. We're both heels, so we're
perfect.
just going at
Yeah,
each
it's
other.
absolutely perfect. Tone, what do you got to plug, dog?
I also have another podcast. I have a gaming podcast.
God, everybody is jumping shit.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
Davo, you
if,
want to start a podcast called
yeah,
Tony
I mean-
Sucks?
I'll contact you guys after.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, I got a gaming podcast with my best friend Dane. It's called
And a best friend.
Yeah.
This guy.
It's called Screen Peekers. It's a lot of fun. We go over news, but like we're trying not to be news based too much because you get that anyways. But we just talk about what's going on in gaming, and we have fun segments where we're like hypothesize cool things that we want to see happen when it comes to like games
What
coming
you
out.
wish,
Yeah, we
I wish Sub-Zero was a girl.
stuff like
stuff
that. Exactly. But yeah, if you like gaming,
Sonya didn't get a boob job.
Yeah. I wish Dixie Kong had bigger boobs.
yeah, that's exactly what it's like. So if you want to listen to that,
someone would hold me up to the
check us
glory
out.
hole.
It's Screen Peekers. Peakers.
When will someone hold me up to the glory hole?
I give, I never get.
Take, they do.
Oh, excuse me 1 second.
I mean, maybe instead of a
Alright.
movie, you could
Wait,
just make it
is
a
he
video game.
Is he a gay, deformed man?
Sucks a dick in the movies.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I would love to know.
So if he's not, his commitment to the role is impeccable.
Wow. What a life he lives.
I think it's a French movie. Now that I think about it,
Just like, like
Oh, we.
this might be a stereotype, but every gay guy I've ever met in my life was very, clean cut and very, fashionable. And, you could argue maybe a little bit more vain than the heterosexual community.
does not describe this man.
This guy,
Yeah.
he's trying to get those guys.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna be the middle ground between the gay community and the Goonies.
Yeah.
Well, that's-
I don't think he's going to get any of these guys.
Well, that's part of. That's why he's at the glory hole. It's just
He's-
a hole. They don't see who's on the other
He's
side.
wheeling into the nightclubs and they're like, back to the shadows.
Pretty
Get
much.
out of here.
See, you got it. You know exactly what this film's about now.
Wow. Wait, so this comes out this week.
What?
I'm asking you when this episode comes out.
Yeah.
All right, so I will be at Hyenas Comedy Club in Plano, Texas, which is Dallas, all weekend. Come see me at Hyenas. We'd love to have some drinks with you, have some laughs with you. What else do I have to plug? Share this podcast. Let the people hear it.
Yeah, rate,
that's it.
review.
Yeah, leave a review, good rating. We love you guys. Thanks for watching. That's it. We out.
Friendship.
How about that? This is a really fun one. Thanks, Davo, for coming. Thanks to all the Patreon subscribers. We love you guys. Big shout out to Tone Bear and to Aaron Marsh and Davo. What a great guy, right? He's also single, so hit him up. I know I said that in the intro, but it's just fun for me to pretend that Davo is gonna get all these chicks messaging him after this. Some chickies. We love all you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to rate, review, wherever you get your podcasts. Give us a good shout out. We love you guys.
Peace.